Come join me for a chit chat. We're going to be discussing the Apoc-Eclipse as well as some side hustles. We're going to be making a couple of slow cooker meals. I'm going to show you a few food hauls. Corey is going to be hard at work in the garden, doing some planting in the backyard and the front yard. We're going to be just going around town, hitting up Lowe's, Home Depot, yard sales, and I can't wait to show you what I got at a yard sale. We're also freeze drying a batch of strawberries, so come join us. Let's get started. Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing well. This weekend we're just going to be doing a lot of our planting in our garden, planting flowers, kind of a repeat or a continuation, I should say, of what we did last weekend, which is in my last video. We're also going to go visit a couple of grocery stores. There's been a lot of hype about, well, here in Texas anyway, about treating this eclipse that's happening on Monday, April 8th as kind of like preparing for a hurricane. They're telling us to stock up on 2 weeks of groceries, gas up our cars, have batteries on hand. I don't want to say that they're overreacting. I think it's more of a situation with a bunch of people are flocking to Texas and we have our own power grid, and they're just kind of concerned about just exhausting our resources. More so for the smaller towns. We are in the path of totality. It's more of a, I think at last check was 94%. I don't understand. We have eclipses yearly, and I don't know what the hype is about this particular eclipse that is making people react this way, but you know, a lot of people are panic stricken. I think since 2020, people kind of go into that frame of mind when they start hearing that the National Guard has been deployed or that FEMA is suggesting you bring your pets inside. Bringing your pets indoors is probably more for their safety in case of confusion, because if it was to go from day to all of a sudden it's kind of like nighttime, it kind of confuses the wildlife. The birds go back to their nests, the crickets start chirping. I think that's more what that's about. There is so much propaganda in the world that really stresses people out and causes mass hysteria. And I just don't think we should live like that. You know, I know there's a lot of people looking at this eclipse from a biblical standpoint, and whereas I think that we should look at everything that happens in this world from a biblical standpoint. A lot of people are saying this is the beginning of Armageddon and the Antichrist is being ushered in. And I'm not saying that's not true. There are a lot of strange anomalies with this eclipse, and with CERN working on the collider, talking about locusts that are all of a sudden going to appear on April 8th. They're crazy times we live in, and I'm not going to make light of anything, definitely not make light of anybody's fears. Once you have the Holy Spirit in you, if you are saved by grace through faith in Jesus Christ, you believe He came to the earth. In His ministry, He talked about how to be saved and how to love others, and He gave His life on the cross, was buried, rose from the dead on the third day, and His Holy Spirit dwells in all those who seek Him. If you've got the Holy Spirit in you, you don't live in a sense of fear, and you also know how not to be deceived. Now, will there be man-made attempts to imitate the signs in the skies? Probably. Talked for years about HARP and weather manipulation and Project Bluebeam and all of those things that probably will get me strikes on this channel. I know they've done it on my Facebook, but I'm just kind of to a point where I encourage everybody to do their own research. Don't just listen to what somebody tells you, but do focus on your Bible. You'll get every answer you need there. The Bible is a roadmap for us in this life, and it will teach you how to have discernment and to not be deceived or distracted by wolves in sheep's clothing. And, we just have to make sure that our eyes are on Jesus through the storm. Don't let yourself be consumed by all of the chaotic things happening in the world. Just don't be scared, but be prepared. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was side hustles. I'm sure many of you are going through this too. Our auto insurance went up 60% this year. Our water bill, our utility bill, our homeowners, property taxes, everything, inflation, groceries, you name it, everything's going up. It's getting harder and harder to make ends meet. So I wanted to just talk to y'all about some little side hustles that you might want to consider, just a way to make some extra money. The first thing I'll talk about is YouTube channels. I do mine more as a hobby, not really a profession. I don't upload daily. I'm not very consistent with my content, which does work against me. I started out focusing on preparedness, but then sometimes I'll do campsite reviews, I'll do restaurant reviews, and just day in the life type stuff. I've noticed the algorithms are kind of maybe not recommending my videos to as many people. My last couple of videos, they're just barely getting any views. My community page, doesn't get very many views either, but the main focus that I'm going to have is just focus on serving Jesus, posting my Bible study messages, and hoping that whoever God wants to see those Bible study messages on my community page will see them. Where I was going, sorry I got off task, YouTube channels. There are a lot of very talented people out there. And I know people might look at YouTube and say, oh, there's just tons of prepping channels, so there's no way I could fit in. But the truth is, many people come and go. Many people might get on YouTube for a season and then, something else comes along in their life. They have to get a full-time job. They have to step away for family reasons or health reasons. So there's always room for somebody to come along and join YouTube and share their talents. Now, I'll be honest, like I said, I do it more for fun and part-time, so the money that I get is not enough to live off of, but it does definitely help. There's a lot of talented people out there. People leave great suggestions in the comments of my videos. And there's been a couple of people where I've said, do you have a YouTube channel? Because if you don't, you really should consider getting one. I know it's not for everybody. It's just great to be able to get online and share your skills, your knowledge with other people. Obviously, the more that you put into a channel, the more time you put into it, the more it's likely to grow. It also depends on what it is that you're trying to showcase. I'll do another video another time about ways to grow your channel. I do have some suggestions, even though I'm by all means not a huge channel by a long shot, but I still have learned some tricks of the trade along the way and just other observations I've made that I think might be helpful. So I will include that in another video at a different time. Just whatever talents you may have or any skills that you may have, just consider doing that for a profession. So if you like to garden, you'll see in this video, Corey is obsessed with gardening. That is so therapeutic to him. That's his thing. I've actually got clients that contract him for specific things that I'm unable to do, because I've mentioned before that I'm a concierge in my community. Whatever the need is of somebody in my area, be it childcare, pet sitting, house sitting, checking pool filters, picking up mail, picking up Amazon packages. I sit with elderly people and care for them. I pick people up from the hospital who need help getting back into their home. Maybe their medication hasn't worn off yet, but they needed a ride home and someone to get them in. I help people who are recovering from surgeries, do light housekeeping around their house. So I take teens who don't drive yet to and from school. Pretty much everything you can think of that if you're a busy mom or dad or grandparent and you just need an extra set of hands, that's what I do. A big bulk of what I do is transportation, taking elderly people to doctor's appointments, taking people to the rodeo or out on the town who want to drink and not worry about driving. I do a lot of airport shuttling. So of my clients, there's things they need that I don't know how to do. Handiwork around the house, lawn care. I actually have passed on some of my assignments to Corey that I can't do that he can do. So he goes to a lot of people's houses that are clients of mine and repairs things, helps with computer program issues, maintenance around the house, yard care, lawn care. He does all that. If you've got some kind of skill set like canning, maybe you can offer some canning classes in your community at your local rec center. If you're into fitness, then perhaps you can teach a Zumba class or some kind of aerobics class at a gym in your area, a local YMCA. The possibilities are endless in today's times. We have to get creative. If you're real into refurbishing furniture, as you've seen from my past videos, we collect things on heavy trash day. We will pick up pieces of furniture that we think we can salvage. Sometimes we'll fix them up, or sometimes they're fine on their own. The chair that I'm sitting in, I found this on heavy trash day. Let me show you. It's just an office chair, but anyway, I looked that up online and it's worth about $80. It's got wheels. It's a very nice leather chair. If you're good with your hands and you know how to do that kind of stuff, or maybe you're good with crafts and you can make things, if you're good at sewing or crocheting and you can sell things on Etsy. But you know, it's just something to think about. Even if you feel like you're comfortable where you are financially, it doesn't hurt to put a little extra money aside. Corey, he's been trying to figure out how to supplement income for us as he sells cryptocurrency. He does, or not sells, he trades, doing day trading. And that wasn't even something that he had thought about doing, and just someone at his work mentioned it and he thought, well, that sounds interesting. So he gave it a shot and he's been doing pretty well at that. So it just never hurts to have a little extra cushion for a rainy day. So just something to think about. We've got a lot of stuff to do today. We're gardening. We're going to go to the grocery store and pick up a couple of things. I'm a little bit concerned because they are making such a big deal out of this eclipse. I just don't want to see another 2020 situation with toilet paper shortages and all that. I just don't want to go to the store trying to get basic groceries for the week and just deal with mass hysteria. We'll just see what the weekend holds, so come join us. For breakfast this morning, we're making musubi bowls. They're a Hawaiian sushi type thing that's got spam and rice and these little nori strips, these little seaweed strips here. So we're gonna just make some of that up. We've got some things we need to use. We got to use up our avocados before they go bad. And Corey went ahead and made some rice in the Instapot, so let's get that started. I tell you, it is so convenient having these little individual servings of Spam, because Corey and I are the only ones that eat meat in the house, and every time we open a can of Spam, we feel obligated to finish it. You know, we might just want one slice of it, but then we have half a loaf left. And these are the perfect little portions. They would fit on a sandwich real nicely, but we just went ahead and used a couple of strips. And let's see, Corey already made the rice in the Instapot off camera, but we just fried up the Spam, we sliced up the avocado, we fried a couple of eggs, and just made ourselves a very simple but very delicious breakfast. And then we added a little bit of seasoning. I like Julio's, a little bit of soy sauce, and of course these nori strips, as well as the furikake, which is kind of the same thing. It's got sesame seeds, and I made myself these little individual bite-sized Spam rolls. I know a lot of people use slow cookers in the fall. I am a big fan of slow cookers in the spring. We are so busy doing things outdoors that it just is helpful to me to spend as little time in the kitchen as possible. So I had these couple of steaks that I needed to use because I thought they had a small pin-sized hole in them somewhere. They were something that we vacuum sealed, but in the freezer they looked like they were starting to get a little bit of freezer burn. And then I just had all these potatoes, a few carrots, I had a bunch of onions that I needed to use. So I went ahead and I was kind of going to make it like a pot roast, but because I'm using steaks, I decided to do something a little bit different and make it more of a Salisbury kind of stroganoff-ish meal. So I'm adding a little bit of garlic here. We had some leftover mushrooms that we need to use up. And then I've got a couple of cans here of this brown gravy and au jus sauce that I'm going to add for the broth. And we're just going to put this on low and slow for about 8 hours. Corey and I are arguing over whether or not the meat goes on top or bottom. I always put the vegetables on the bottom, the meat on the top, and let the fat from the meat drip down over the vegetables so they don't dry out. He says the meat should go on the bottom so it doesn't dry out. Let us know in the comments below, does the meat go on the bottom or does the vegetables go on the bottom? We got too many things to do to be arguing over. It's just sometimes him and I like to have a little bit of friendly competition. At the end of the day, I don't guess it matters. A slow cooker, it's kind of like a steamer. It traps all that moisture in there. Everything's going to get cooked. I've been cooking for decades, never had an issue with my slow cooker. The smothered steak ended up being delicious. I didn't show it here, but I actually poured more gravy on top. And it was like a cross between a pot roast and Salisbury steak. It was so good, so moist, and so tender. We try to freeze dry something every weekend if we can. We had about 4 cartons of leftover strawberries from last week when we got those on sale, so we decided to go ahead and put these on the freeze dryer. Hazel has this little routine when she sees us walk by with her bed. She gets so excited and she goes and jumps in it, and she knows she's going on a trip. We are about to go to Home Depot and Lowe's, and Corey just carries her like a little taco. It's the cutest thing ever. Okay, so believe it or not, this is 5 separate hauls. We went to 5 different places. Let me show you what we got going on. So from H-E-B, we got the white cran and strawberry, as well as some coconut milk. So we've got the strawberries on the freeze dryer, and I was going to make the copycat pink drink from Starbucks, because Olivia likes getting those drinks, and they're about $9 now, which is ridiculous. I've been searching for about a month for this lemon blueberry bread, and I finally got that. I'm very excited to try that and put some of this Philadelphia cheesecake no-bake dip on there. We might also put this on the freeze dryer next. We went to Walmart for the Velveeta jalapeno cheese. So typically we get our cheese from the deli, and it's a lot better tasting, but it's also very, very expensive. So every once in a while I like a good grilled cheese with the fake processed stuff. So I saw they had this new flavor, jalapeno. I wanted to try that. Then from Aldi, I got these 2 things. I don't know if y'all remember, I did a video of about a month or so ago that we had about 20 boxes of the pastaroni, white shells and cheddar, and they were all infested with bugs. I'm guessing it's something that we did not have bugs anywhere else in our pantry with the exception of those boxes. So it probably came from the manufacturer that way, maybe had some eggs in it, but needless to say, we threw all of those away. And then I noticed these at Aldi, like under $1. And then I'm going to be making a pasta recipe this week. Believe it or not, in our pantry, we have lots of tomato sauce, but we don't have any Alfredo. So I am making a dish with the blackened chicken Alfredo, and so I needed that. Then over at Dollar Tree, I was excited to see a couple of new things. This is a Chipotle Jasmine Rice, and then this brand right here, I'm going to insert a picture from H-E-B. So I was able to get this spicy seasoned beef crumbles for $1.25, and at H-E-B these same bags are going for $3 something. I can't remember if it's $3.50 or what. But this just kind of inspired me. I think I'm going to be putting together some MRE kits and focus on either the Dollar Tree or just, some affordable MRE kits. Like right here, you could throw in a pack of tortillas, maybe a can of black beans or something, put them in a big gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and you've got yourself a nice little meal here. Now, over at CVS, I got this candle, not really a necessity, more of a want, but we get $10 a month for being CVS members, and that combined with other coupons and sales, we paid $2 for this. I think it's regular, what was it, $17, $18?
17.
And this is smoked vanilla. If you've ever smelled the marshmallow fireside, it smells like that. Okay, over here we've got Aldi. And so I wanted to try these stuffed hash browns. Meat lovers, potato, sausage, ham, bacon, cheddar, and mozzarella cheese. I thought that sounded good. Chloe loves cream cheese wontons. She's a vegetarian, and we can't seem to find these without crab meat in them. So we actually have the wonton wrappers, and we were going to attempt to make these, but we just haven't got around to it. These are some of the best fish I've ever had. And so this is from Aldi, beer battered fish fillets, and we love this stuff. I could probably eat this 5 times a week if I'm being honest. That was our haul from all those different places. We spent a lot of our weekend trying to complete our flower beds and our landscaping in the front yard just to make the front of our house look more presentable and bring some life to it. And Corey did such an amazing job. Tomatoes are looking good. Now we're going to attempt to plant some onions that we never got around to using.
Rosemary.
Now Corey is going to attempt to repot these 2 lavender trees and this rosemary tree. I remember when I was filming him doing this, I was like, why on earth are you using that giant shovel? And he lost a small shovel. We ended up having to go to the Dollar Tree to get another one, but just in case you're wondering why he's using that one, it looks kind of awkward, but hey, make do with what you got. Our 4-legged crew sure does love being outside with us in the backyard. One of these days I'm going to catch Bee pouncing on one of these dogs on camera. It is the funniest thing because she'll run sideways and then stand up on her back 2 legs. Next, Corey worked a little bit on our old garden bed. He is just putting new soil on top. He just dug up the leaves. I had some footage of that. I don't know where it went, but anyway. So he is working on it, and he's got his little helper Hazel there with him. Okay, what you doing over here, babe?
Alright, so I planted a tomato, red bell pepper, serrano peppers, the gypsy mini bells, which are the ones we like in the bag, you know, the different colored ones.
Oh, okay.
And then a habanero pepper.
Nice. Looks good.
Parsley there. These 6 plants are broccoli. There's a tomato. There's a couple onions that were good. They were long like that in the house.
I know. I got to tell you all the story. So these were sticking out from a table, and I came into the kitchen real early in the morning. It was still pitch dark. I was just walking through the house, and I felt these things brush up against my leg, and I literally was terrified. What do we got over here?
We got 2 jalapeno plants.
Okay.
And then a mini romaine, which they're starting to turn into the little romaines.
Nice.
So this is a cucumber. These are all cauliflower. Those are Roma tomatoes. And we got dill over there. Cilantro in the middle. More parsley. Some mini bell or cherry tomatoes, which are doing pretty good.
Nice.
Some what am I drawing a blank? Basil, and then we got some fresh mint.
Nice. So yesterday, a lot of neighborhoods in our community were having their annual yard sale. Somebody posted online some of the things they were selling at their yard sale, and I saw this piece of furniture that looked identical to the one that we used to own. But I don't know, I thought my mom had it, my mom thought I had it, we both moved a few times. Long story short, neither one of us had this piece of furniture. And it's been in our family. It was an antique worth lots of money. And I saw almost an identical replica. They were asking $30 for it. So it looks like they attempted to work on it as a refurbished project. It's kind of like they started sanding it, but nonetheless, I bought it for $30, and I'm going to restore it for my mom for Mother's Day next month and give it back to her. She was heartbroken when it was no longer in the family. Like I said, she thought I had it. I thought she had it. We both moved a bunch of times since then, so it's like, I don't know what happened with it. But anyway, we got one that looks almost identical, and just for curiosity, I went online to see what they're going for, and one that was actually in worse shape was going for almost $2,000. Spending $30 was money well spent. Let me show it to you. This is it. So it's not what you typically think of when you think of a phone booth. You think of the little booths that you walk in, and they don't really exist anymore that I know of, but this used to also be called a gossip bench. And as you can see, somebody started to sand it. We can finish it, we can stain it. The seat is actually in good shape, but I kid you not, this is almost identical to the one that we used to have. So I can't wait to give it to my mom. You can see this over here. Let me show you inside that little area. So you used to be able to put your phone books in there, and people would just sit there. It's more of a conversation piece. It's not like my mom is actually going to sit in this and use it, but it's definitely a cute piece of furniture, and I can't wait to fix it up. So $30, money well spent. I don't think this is the one that I allegedly had and got rid of, because the girl that I bought it from said she had it for 25 years. So not the same one. That would have been cool if it was. Would have made a great story, but there you go. So for dinner tonight, you guessed it, I'm using the slow cooker again. We are using this andouille sausage, and we're going to make this navy bean soup, adding some of the turkey broth that we canned a few months ago, some hatch green chilies. I'm throwing in some minced garlic and an onion, and using up some of the spinach, some smoked salt, Mexican oregano, cumin, and the Better Than Bouillon adobo, and just gave it a good mix. I put it on low for about 8 hours. In case you're wondering why we didn't cut up the sausage in advance, it was because my daughters are both vegetarians, but I wanted them to be able to eat the beans, and then we just cut up the sausage when it was done. We did want to soak the sausage in the beans though, because it has a really good taste. These are green onion and stone ground mustard, but they have real good flavor. Thank you so much for watching our video and spending this time with us. Please, if you will, consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell for notifications, and all the things. I don't know what it is with my videos, but the viewing has just gone down greatly. People are saying they're not even getting notified or informed when I post a video, and it shows in my views. But you know, and I'm gonna take a lesson away from this too, because I've been guilty where I watch videos and then I just, you know, I enjoy the video, but I don't always hit like or comment. I just am like in my head going, oh yeah, that's a good video, and then I just watch the next one. Those likes and comments make such a huge difference, and they really encourage people to want to put out and, you know, take their time to put these videos out and edit and spend all the time they spend making them. So please just consider giving this video a like or a comment, and thank you so much for sticking around. I know this was kind of a hot mess weekend. We just did a little bit of everything, but just trying to keep it real. This is what our weekends look like in the spring. We're just really busy, spending a lot of time outside. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye, everyone.